Hi, my name is Tori Quizmundo, and this video will help you with heading and paragraph styles with navigation. This video is created for FTCC Continuing Education. Let's get started. You can see I have a blank Word document here, and I need some text in there before I can even start to make some navigation or heading styles. So I'm going to type in there equals RAND, and I'm going to get some random text into my document. Now, in the previous video, we learned about using the proper buttons in order to do formatting within our document. So if I'd like a title here, let me put a title at the top, MS Office Word, and I will center that and make it bold. All right, so that's the proper way to put my title up there, right? And I want to come down here and I'm going to give this some subtitles because for my students, I want them to quickly identify what each paragraph is going to discuss. So here we've got a paragraph for header and footer. And here we've got a paragraph for themes and styles. And here I've got a paragraph that's going to discuss some new buttons. And just below that, I have a paragraph that discusses reading. Okay, so I'm doing this properly, right? And I'm going to select my text and I'll make it bold. And this is going to be wonderful for everyone that I hand this out to in class, sort of. This will be wonderful for everyone that doesn't have a visual impairment. If you hand this out to someone who has no problem seeing, they can identify this section here is for the header and footer. This section here is for themes and styles. They have no problem deciphering that. But if I am a student who has a visual impairment, this document right now has no navigation. I've pulled up my navigation pane on the left. There's no navigation there. To view the navigation pane, you can click the View tab under your Show Grouping, choose Navigation pane. I have no navigation in here. So if I have a visual impairment and I would like to know about the reading section, I have got to read. I have to have my reader read all of the other content to me. So that means by the time I get to the content I'm interested in, I've already gone through the header, footer, the themes and styles, the new buttons, whereas if I did not have a visual impairment and this was handed to me as a document, I could very quickly get to the content I need and move along. So it's an unfair advantage an unfair disadvantage to somebody who is using a reader. So we're going to create this properly, and we're going to use our styles. Our styles are on the Home tab and Styles grouping right here. Maybe you've used these before, maybe you haven't. I'm going to select my text again, and this time instead of just simply making it bold, I'll choose heading 1. Notice as I choose heading 1, it gives a navigation on the left side of the screen. That will let you know that a reader now has a table of contents. I'm looking at this and I don't particularly like the header and footer in blue. I can modify that very easily. Go up and lay your mouse on top of your heading. Right-click and choose to modify. Change that font color if you don't like it to black. You can change your size if you prefer. You can make it bold if you like, and then say OK. Now I've got this modified. OK. Now I'm going to select my themes and styles. I'll give that a heading 1 style as well. Notice my navigation is creating itself in the navigation pane. New buttons, heading 1 style. Reading, heading 1 style. And let's say that reading had an additional piece underneath of it, and it was going to talk about reading in Word documents specifically. Okay, and then I had some additional text there. This would be a subheading, so a heading 2. Go up to my styles and look. I have heading 1 and heading 2. You know, your headings can go all the way past heading 2, 3, 4, 5, but it only gives you what you need at the time. If I haven't used a heading 2, I won't have a need for a heading 3 style. Okay? I'm going to select this and make it a heading 2. Notice on my navigation pane, it will indent it under my reading category. So it's a subtitle. If I don't like the blue text, that's fine. Right-click and modify. Change my font color. Make it bold, change my font size, whatever it is that I'd prefer to do. Okay, and now that has its modification. Look at my navigation. I've got header and footer. I've got new buttons it will take me to, and as I click, it takes me to that area. What that will do is someone who is using a reader will not have to read through this whole document to get to the reading section. If someone's using a reader, it will give them a table of contents and ask them where they would like to go first. Header and footer, themes and styles, new buttons, reading in Word documents, where do you want to go? And that prevents a lot of frustration. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this could also benefit you if you are not visually impaired. I'm going to follow these steps in order to insert a table of contents for the students who just might prefer to have a table of contents there. In order to do that, and the steps are located in your course, I'm going to the Reference tab. In my Reference tab, on the far left, I'll select Table of Contents. Now I'll choose one of the table of contents that I prefer, and it will insert it there for me. Now I have a visual table of contents. I'd probably want to have my table of contents on a different page than the rest of my content. So I will say Insert tab and choose a page break. Remember, don't hit Enter to get to your next page. Now I have page 1 and page 2, okay, but my table of contents needs to be updated. I'll lay my mouse on the table of contents, click. Now I can choose to update the table. I can choose the page numbers only, or if I've added additional content, I can choose to update the entire table. And now it will tell me that my content is on page 2. And I can come down here and view my contents here. I've got my table of contents here, but if I'm using the reader, the most important thing is my headings have been identified over here, and they have a table of contents for navigation as well. I hope this video was helpful. This was Heading and Paragraph Styles with Navigation. Good luck!